Hi, how are you? This is Derek Bagata from experttravelltipsforwomen.com. And today I thought I'd give you something special. I'm with a realtor. He's a Canadian. He's come down to Mazatlan, Mexico. He's been here a couple of years. He's married to a Mexican national, all of these good things. So if there's somebody that knows about the real estate market and that there's questions that you have that you need answered, I would say this is the guy. I mean, I get a good feeling from this guy. It's pleasant, everything else. His name is Charlie Mouland, M-O-U-L-A-N-D. And so let's have Charlie tell you about Mazatlan. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
I'm just fine today, Derek. Thank you.
Good. And we both know, I mean, you've been here a couple of years, I've been here about a year now, and we both know how beautiful and wonderful this city is. Tell me, why should somebody come to Mazatlan and consider retiring or investing here?
Well, first of all, Derek, what I would say about Mazatlan is it's a very beautiful place. It has a lot of natural beauty, not just the beaches. It has the islands off the coast here that you can see that are protected always by Mexico. There's no buildings, so they keep the natural part. Mazatlan is not just a tourist place. Mazatlan is a working people's place. So if somebody wants a mixture of national people and a mixture of foreign people, I think this is the place to be, because it's a place where people come to enjoy the culture here, to enjoy the beaches, to mix in with the local people and get to know how they live.
Are there a lot of gringos or foreigners here? I mean, is it a big Canadian American community?
There's approximately 10 to 12,000 Americans and Canadians that live here full time.
And what's the population of here?
And the population here is a little, I would say, close to 500,000.
500,000? Wow. I mean, we were thinking that the other day. Somebody said 500,000. We said, there's no way 500,000.
Well, the sign says 379, but I'd say the sign is a little bit off.
Oh, okay. And would you say it's kind of like even Canadians, Americans? Or more Canadians or more Americans?
I would say it'd be about half and half.
Okay. And everybody in the world knows Remax, right?
Well, just about. At least we want them to anyway.
Okay. And when people come down, what do they do normally? Do they just come down and buy, or do they come down and maybe spend a month or two? Is that what you recommend? Just to get a feel for the place before they make that jump?
I personally recommend that a person come here and rent for 4 to 6 months, because you don't want them to make a rash decision that they're going to regret later on. So rather than make a sale, I'd rather encourage people to come here and live for 4 to 6 months, so they get a feel, so they really know this is what they want. Because what you don't want is somebody buying a property that's going to regret it 15 minutes later, okay, or a day later, or 2 days later. When they're making, because it's a second home normally, but it's a big investment. And if you're going to invest your money, you want to make sure your investment is protected.
And like an average property here in these times, what do people look for? They look for like a 2-bedroom or something like that?
An average property right now people are looking for is usually 2 to 3 bedrooms. Right now, this year, the market is more in condominiums. It's not in houses. A lot of people are looking for a condominium because they're coming down here, they're going to be living here for 6 months. So they want to feel safe when they go away, and they lock the door and they come back, and it's going to be the same, except it didn't have a little bit of dust that was on there last year.
And then normally, let's say the condominium, they would have a swimming pool or something like that?
They would normally have a swimming pool. A lot of people, there's a couple of different types. There's people want on the beach, and there's people who want to be down close to the historical center. So you have a couple of different markets there that you're looking at.
Wow, okay. And you said something interesting, is that the average person comes for they stay about, let's say, 6 months of the year, and then they go back during the summertime.
And they usually go back through summertime, because they always think that summer's going to be hotter here, and it's going to be, they're not going to be able to take the heat, but it's no hotter here than it is in downtown Toronto in the middle of July, with the humidity and everything else. So that's a little fallacy, I think, that people have to come here and see.
And when somebody does buy property here, is it difficult for them? I mean, is it relatively easy to buy the property? How does that work?
It's fairly easy. It's a little bit more difficult than it is in Canada States, because you have your fee de commisso, which is a bank trust that people have to have here. because you're not allowed to directly own beachfront property in Mazatlan. But that's changing now. There's a bill before Congress that they're trying to present that people can have a residential property on the beach and they can have full title to it.
Oh, okay.
Now the bank trust is easy. It costs about $2,500 approximately to get it.
Is that Canadian dollars?
That's American dollars.
Yes.
And then they have to pay between $320 and $400 a year to keep that bank trust.
And when they buy property, is it the same anywhere else that they pay about the same sort of commission to a realtor or something like that? Is that how that works?
No, the person who's buying doesn't pay the commission. It's the person who's selling who pays the commission. What the people do have to pay, they pay all the closing costs. Normally the buyer will pay all the closing costs, which is approximately 6%, which isn't bad because it includes your fee to commit, so that includes all your taxes, that includes your notarial prices. What they want to be sure they're going to do is make sure that all the paperwork is legal and they have a public escritorial on the property, and that's done through a realtor or with their notario. Everything should be done with a notario. Anybody who wants to do things other than that is probably going to have a problem like they would in any country.
And a notario, that's a notary public?
That's a notary public, yeah.
Okay.
That's a little bit over a lawyer because they're the only ones who are allowed to deal with properties.
Wow.
Okay, and they're the ones that check everything and make sure there's no liens against the property, and the property is free and clear for people so they don't have a problem with it.
So in other words, when somebody does buy a property and they do all of these, let's say they go through somebody like you and they do all of these steps, there is no way that they could be sort of defrauded out of their property, or it wouldn't be right or something like that.
No, if they do all the proper steps and they deal with somebody who knows what they're doing and is honest, they will not have a problem.
Okay.
Their properties, I always tell people it's better protect them than it is in Canada, because you have to have a beneficiary that's written on the deed in case something happens to you. For instance, if they bought a property right now and they put their money out and they stay here for a month or so and then they're going home and a plane crashes and they're killed, they have to have a beneficiary on that title.
Okay.
And then for the beneficiary, there's no problem. All they have to do is come down, they present their identification, they pay around approximately $400 and everything's transferred in their name.
So even if something did happen, they could leave it to their children or whatever it is at all of these things. It's
yes,
like anywhere.
They have to have two beneficiaries.
So I was going to say, so Mexico isn't, a lot of people consider it third world, but if you're buying property here, whatever it is, you really don't have anything to worry about.
No, as far as I'm concerned, no. I speak with a little bit of knowledge because I've owned property in Guatemala, I've owned property in Honduras, and I own a lot of properties in Canada. So I get into real estate just so I can help people from other countries not fall into the pitfalls.
Okay. And the property, of course, if somebody was looking at a property, it's basically the same anywhere. You either like the property or you don't like the property.
Exactly. What you have to do when you're selling real estate, same as anything, is listen to your client, personalize your clients, and find them exactly what they want at the best price.
Okay, yeah. So, well, Charlie, this has been very, very helpful. I'd like to thank you very much. I think this is good.
Well, I think Mazatlan's a great place. Don't lose the opportunity. Come here and see for yourself. And if you don't use me, there's lots of other honest real estate workers around here.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Charlie Mouland, Remax, Mazatlan Mexico. This is Derek Bogado for experttraveltipsforwomen.com. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.